In 2025, an AI system was handed 304 of the hardest clinical cases ever published in the New England Journal of Medicine. The kinds of cases which keeps the consultants up at night. The AI scored 85.5% accuracy. The experienced physicians, doctors with an average of 12 years of experience scored 20%. Let that sit for a moment. Now, if you are a medical student, a junior doctor, or a registrar who has committed years of your life to a specialty and you are quietly wondering whether that specialty is going to exist in 20 years time, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to go through every major specialty and I'm going to give my honest verdict as an NHS Cardiothoracic Surgical trainee and a PhD researcher at Imperial on which ones are most at risk, which ones are safest, and which answer is going to completely surprise you. Stay till the end because the one that surprised me the most is not the one you would expect. But first, I need to be clear about something. This is not a doomer video. I am not here to tell you that medicine is finished and that you have wasted your training or that robots are going to take over. I've been on the wards, I've been in theatre, I've been in a lab when people were running analysis, and what I have seen is this. AI is not here to replace the doctor, but it is here to replace the doctor who refuses to understand AI. That is the distinction that matters. The real question isn't will AI replace doctors? It is which specific tasks and which specific specialty are most vulnerable right now, and what do you actually do about it? Right, let's get into it. Let's start with the red zone, radiology. This is the most AI researched specialty in all of medicine, and the data is frankly alarming. AI tools right now detect lung nodules 26% faster than human radiologists. And here's the number that genuinely stopped me. They are finding 29% of the nodules that human radiologists miss entirely. 29%. Previously missed, gone undetected. In 2025, Gemini 3.0 Pro was benchmarked on a radiology assessment called RAD-LE version 1. The AI scored between 51 and 57%. The average human radiology trainee, 45%. The trainee bar has been crossed. That's the point at which AI goes beyond someone who is still in training. When that happens, someone might ask, what exactly are we training the trainees for? Board-certified radiologists still hold a significant lead at 83%, but the trajectory is unmistakable. Pathology, the same red zone, particularly dermopathology. AI diagnostic accuracy for common skin cancers now exceeds 95%. Not a projection, that is the current benchmark. I know what you are thinking. Pattern recognition, images, of course AI is good at those. But here's where it gets really uncomfortable. Because that MAI DxO study I mentioned at the start, 85.5% versus 20%, that wasn't an image task. That was complex clinical reasoning, the messy, unpredictable, real medical stuff, the art of medicine. I remember reading that paper. I was sitting at my desk and I had to put it down and just think, because this AI isn't just reading scans, it's pulling simultaneously from every medical specialty at once. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't get cognitive bias on hour 14 of a night shift. It doesn't forget the paper it read 6 months ago. And it scored 85.5% on cases that experienced physicians, real consultants, only got 20% right on. The cognitive mode, the idea that complex clinical diagnosis is uniquely human, is no longer a guaranteed advantage. That is the honest truth, and you deserve to hear it. Now the grey zone, real risk but more time to adapt. General surgery, specifically the scripted procedures, appendicectomies and cholecystectomies, for example. In July 2025, an AI system trained on just 17 hours of video conducted the first realistic autonomous gallbladder removal. Just 17 hours. I spent more time than that just practicing how to tie a knot as a foundation year doctor. For standardized, predictable procedures, automation is a genuine risk within the next 2 decades. Interventional cardiology, high moderate risk, because it relies heavily on digitized imaging pathways. The steps are traceable, the data is clean, and AI performs exceptionally well with clean, structured data. Orthopaedics, moderate. Standardized joint replacements are vulnerable, but complex revision, surgery and trauma far harder to automate. And this leads us to the green zone. I want to pause here for a second because this part is personal. When I first really dug into this research, not the headlines, the actual studies, I had a moment of genuine uncertainty. I chose cardiothoracic surgery, I committed to it, years of training, an NHS post, a PhD at Imperial, and I'm sitting there reading papers that are making me question, did I choose wisely? But then I kept reading and I found something that shifted everything. The specialties that survive aren't necessarily the most prestigious or the highest paid. They are the ones that operate inside what researchers called the human moat, environments where AI structurally cannot yet go. I'm going to tell you exactly which specialties those are in just a moment. But first, if this kind of honest data-driven analysis is what you are looking for, please hit subscribe. This is what I do on this channel. I sit at the intersection of medicine, research and technology, and I give you the stuff that nobody else in this space is actually covering. Subscribe and you won't miss a single one. Right, the specialties that will genuinely survive AI. Neurosurgery, very low risk. Here's why. The operating environment in neurosurgery is what researchers called unscripted. Every brain is different. Every tumor sits differently. Every patient's anatomy presents uniquely. Neurosurgery requires what I would describe as procedural intuition, the real-time fusion of motor dexterity with non-algorithmic decision-making. Right now, AI in neurosurgery is limited to intraoperative guidance. It can assist, but it does not lead. Cardiothoracic surgery, my specialty, same category. The reoperated chest, the unexpected adhesions, the beat-to-beat hemodynamic decisions, these environments are not scripted, and they never will be. Trauma surgery, same logic. A polytrauma patient at 2 a.m. is controlled chaos. It is purposeful, human chaos. AI cannot navigate unpredictability at that level. Not yet, and maybe not forever. Plastic surgery, very low risk because plastic surgery is an art. It depends on human judgment, on reading a patient's face, on understanding what normal looks like for a specific person. AI can simulate and plan, but it cannot create. Now here's the one that genuinely surprised me. Psychiatry. On paper, you would think that psychiatry would be vulnerable. It's talking, it's listening, assessing, and the data shows that patients actually rate AI chatbots as warmer and more empathic than real clinicians in text-based settings. One AI tool demonstrated a 51% reduction in depression symptoms for mild to moderate anxiety. So is psychiatry finished? Not really. And the reason is one of the most human concepts in all of medicine. It's called the therapeutic alliance, the deep evolving trust-based relationship between the patient and the clinician that is biologically part of the healing process itself. And there's a new risk that researchers are flagging, what they call AI psychosis. Vulnerable patients, those prone to delusions, hallucinations, interacting with AI chatbots in ways that are actively worsening their conditions. Psychiatry needs humans not because it's preferable, because the biology demands it. Now, after all of that, I want to share the one insight that reframed everything for me. It's called the legal moat. AI cannot be sued, and AI cannot be struck off. AI cannot sit in front of a GMC panel and explain its clinical reasoning. Every decision, whether AI supports it or not, still requires a human clinician to be accountable for it. That accountability is not a preference, it is a legal, ethical, and structural requirement. And this isn't going away. So the future isn't AI replacing doctors. It's doctors becoming what researchers are already calling accountability officers. The human layer that validates and takes legal responsibility for algorithmic outputs. The doctors who thrive in the next 20 years won't be the ones who ignored this. They'll be the ones who understood it better than anyone else in the room. And if you're watching this channel, that's already who you are becoming. So here's the verdict. Red zone, radiology, pathology, interventional cardiology, the disruption is already here. Grey zone, scripted general surgery, standard orthopedics, the clock is ticking, but there's time to adapt. The green zone, neurosurgery, cardiothoracic surgery, trauma, plastic surgery, psychiatry. The human moat is real and it is deep. But here's what cuts across all of it. The doctors who win in every specialty are the ones who get 1% better at understanding this technology every single day. The ones who read the actual papers, not just the headlines. That's the real AI-proof career. If you want to know exactly how to use AI as a doctor to build your research portfolio, get ahead in your training, and future-proof everything you've worked for, that's what this channel is built for. Hit subscribe, drop a comment and tell me which specialty you are in and whether this has changed the way you think. And I will see you in the next one.